good afternoon, and welcome back to the fourth of our six-part finale week of the SATNAC Industry Solutions Challenge 2024. We kicked off yesterday with two topics by our sponsor, Amdocs, looking at personalized customer support and looking at also the problem of fraud detection that we face in telecommunications in companies. And then this morning we were with Huawei looking at privacy protection in multiple parts of industry. And we're excited this afternoon to move on to the next topic now in a different theme of sustainability with another one of our sponsors, Openserve. So to step back again, for those who are joining us for the first time who may have missed the previous three sessions, some background about SATNAC. So this year, the 2024 conference is in fact our 26th edition of this prestigious conference. Telkom has, over the last 26 years, hosted the Southern African Telecommunications Networks and Applications Conference, which throughout this nearly 3 decades of its existence has had the same objective, the same mission, which is to advance and shape the future of ICTs in South Africa, as well as Africa, the world at large as well. And at the very core of what we do at SATNAC is to enable research and advance the funding and publicity of South African research as the driver for innovation. And in doing so, we recognize that growing young researchers, developing young academics, developing young innovators is the way of sustaining the future generations of researchers in South Africa. And this program, the Industry Solutions Challenge, is one of many programs at SATNAC that truly implement and fulfill this objective of raising young researchers and over time closing the gap between academia and industry. So our top sponsors at SATNAC, our diamond sponsors, have now annually offered what are called challenges or industry challenges that represents the problem that industry faces, the problems we see in society as well. And over a period of 3 months, students from across the country and the region are given an opportunity to apply their academic knowledge in attempting to solve these challenges. We are very privileged that Openserve, a subsidiary of the Telkom Group, was in fact this year one of our prestigious partners and sponsors for the Industry Solutions Challenge. We are going to go now into the introduction of the panel that I have here. We have a panel of executives, industry experts, academics, and innovation leaders who will introduce themselves and tell us a bit about, why in supporting programs such as this, is critical and is important for them. And then afterwards, we'll proceed into further introductions of the topic and go into student presentations. Thank you. We'll begin at the very end with you, Moses, and come across to the end of the panel.
Thank you, Tabi. My name is Moses Mogotlani, and I am from Wits University. I work for the Telkom lab, R&D lab at Wits University. But I am an innovator. I've been innovating for the past 15 years in different environments. So my role here also is to, share with the young people what I have learned over the years as an innovator and just help them with their innovation as well for them to be successful. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Tsepo Petla. I'm the head of business development at Telkom. I'm very much passionate about problem solving as well as value creation, and this particular platform offers students an opportunity to actually demonstrate their ability to solve real life problems as well as industry problems, and that is a passion of mine, so I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Dr. Prosper.
Thank you. My name is Prosper Sotenga. I'm from the Tshwane University of Technology. I am a lecturer and a researcher in the Department of Electrical Engineering. My focus areas, or my specialty rather, it's in telecommunications, specializing or looking into Internet of Things. I also look into virtualization of the network. And I'm quite thrilled to be able to see what our students are going to present today. I think it's a good initiative to harness talents from academia or from universities or from other aspects of society in order to solve industry problems. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ashvi Singh. I'm from Openserve Network Operations. I currently focus on operational strategy, where I spearhead special projects looking to improve operational efficiencies and ultimately improve the sustainability of our organization as a whole. So ESG and sustainability are key to what we do as an organization, and it's been a large focus area for Openserve and Telkom Group as a whole. So I'm very keen to see what innovative solutions come out from this challenge.
Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sunil Pyarlal. I'm the executive for network architecture and modeling in Openserve, and I'm really excited to be part of this panel. It's very close to my heart. I like to see academia and industry being brought together, and it is so nice to see that SATNAC introduced this innovation challenge. I haven't stopped studying since 1988. It's been nearly 34 years, and I encourage the students to continue this journey, to be part of the SATNAC challenge, to continue your studies even after you graduate. I'm looking forward to see what you present. Really excited to be able to listen to your projects and then give up our views on that, and hopefully encourage you to continue down this path. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this challenge is a competition, and the students, at the beginning, we started with over 200 students that actually submitted to take part in this challenge. And over the last 3 months, that group of over 200 students were taken through intense training by various agencies and teams within Telkom and beyond, where they were taught how to innovate, where they were taught to take the problems that industry posed to them and really apply a different lens of thinking and understanding how to solve those problems from a point of view that is not only practical, but also has potential business impact. So our judges today are here to judge the finalists that have come forth today, but what we have briefed them on is you're not just here to judge, they're also here to educate. They're here to help us all who are viewing this program to understand this area of sustainability even further. And before we go further on, we are going to ask for a welcome message that is being brought to us by the SATNAC chairperson, who is also the group executive for innovation and transformation at Telkom, Dr. Maki Yankees.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the 2024 SATNAC Innovation Challenge. I'd like to acknowledge the students in and beyond South Africa from across our country and our continent who have submitted and put themselves forward to solving some of the most pertinent challenges facing organizations as well as our society as a whole. It has been an absolute pleasure to see students coming together in their various teams to tackle some of our most pertinent challenges. I'd like to acknowledge our coaches and mentors, as well as the training organization that have played an impactful role in helping the students shape the various solutions that will be presented today. This is an opportunity for you to take the learnings of this process to implement them in your lives as you grow your career path, where some of you may end up actually starting their own organizations. Well done to the R&D team from the Telkom Group, which has worked immensely to ensure the success of the challenge. I want to acknowledge the following organizations who have played a key role in sponsorship for this program and have helped us shape it to what you see today. Amdocs, Huawei, Openserve, Telkom Consumer, and the Telkom Group. Thank you to the judges, mentors, coaches, and everybody who has played a key role in making today a success. All the best to every single entry. We look forward to the success of your winning, not just today, but as you grow in your career, in your life, to continue to impact the country, and the continent at large. Thank you and all the very best for today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yankis. I think we are privileged at Telkom to have leaders that are also researchers and academics, such as Dr. Yankis, because it is through her leadership and others that we recognize the value that academic training brings in driving and propelling innovation in industry. Thank you very much, ma'am. As we move forward, I'm going to ask that our leaders and experts from Openserve lay some foundations for us before the students actually come in to present. So I'll ask Sunil and Ashvi to tell us more about Openserve and also the challenge that the students were tackling throughout the last couple of months in terms of, the problems that Openserve are laid in front of them. But also I think Ashvi is about helping us all to understand the broader problem of sustainability, which all of us in industry as well as society are dealing with on a daily basis, and what the priorities would be moving forward. But Sunil, let's begin with you.
Thank you, Tsabi. So I'll do an introduction of Openserve, and then Ashveer will introduce the industry challenge to you. So Openserve is a subsidiary of the Telkom group of companies. It's the largest ICT infrastructure provider in South Africa. And we provide terrestrial connectivity to South Africa and to our neighboring countries. We provide submarine connectivity on the east and west coast to the rest of the world. And we also provide satellite connectivity and microwave connectivity. We're an open access infrastructure services provider, and we sell to the market via our channel partners. Ashveer, you can maybe give us a quick overview of the problem statement and the industry challenge.
Cool. Thanks, Sunil. Yeah. Thanks for that introduction. And I mean, given the scale of Openserve's network presence in South Africa, it's understandable that to achieve sustainability is not an easy task. As you scale, it gets more and more difficult. So one of the things that we wanted to do with this challenge was to look for fresh ideas on how we can identify, classify, and then recommend the best possible action for every point in our network for us to achieve the most sustainable use of the power that we invest in. And to that effect, we've asked students to come up with an AI-based recommendation model that analyzes the large amounts of data that's available across our vast network at all points in the country and give us recommendations as to what would be the most optimal solution to deploy at each point for us to get the best benefit when it comes to decarbonization.
Great. Thank you, Ashvi. We are going to now begin our presentations, and as we go in, we always like to acknowledge the role that our sponsors play in enabling programs such as this, but in particular Openserve. Because when I say SATNAC has been running for 26 years, alongside it has been our Telkom Centers of Excellence program, which is, among many others, our vehicle for investing in postgraduate education and funding research across the country. And today we have 15 of these centers where researchers in computer science and engineering conduct locally relevant research. And across all our partners in the Telkom group, Openserve is the most active and the most prominent partner and funder of the program. So Openserve is committed to not only solving the challenges that Ashvi is talking about in industry, but it is at the core of the company to continue to train technical talent that will drive these missions moving forward as well. But this investment is also demonstrated by the support that we received in this challenge, because from the very beginning, Openserve, allowed Ashvi and other experts from Openserve to participate on a weekly basis, engaging with students, asking their questions, providing materials, going to prepare data that would actually enable them to play around with this with these ideas. And for that, we are truly grateful, because these are people that have specialized roles within the company, and the time that they committed, you will see it coming forth in how the students have truly understood this space. So without delaying any further, we are going to go into the presentations. And we have today teams from Northwest University, teams from Rhodes University, and 2 teams from the University of Eswatini. So we can go over to the first team. Team, once you're ready, let's hear you come through. and introduce yourself. Are we hearing the team?
Yes, we are ready to start.
Let me go see what can I do.
Great, great, great.
Please kindly confirm with me if I'm audible and also if my presentation is visible.
Yes, we can see and hear you. We don't see your presentation just yet. I can see the presentation. So before you proceed, please allow the judges to know you a bit better. Introduce yourselves, introduce your university, what you're studying, and also at what level. And then you can proceed into your presentation, please.
All right. Thank you. Afternoon, everyone. I'm Karabo Makau from Northwest University. I'm in my third year of studies pursuing Bachelor of Commerce in Information Systems, and we are together forming a team named Unitech. My colleague here, Frederick Steen, he's pursuing his BSc honors in computer science. So this is an outline of the agenda that we are having for our today's presentation. And yeah, in terms of the problem, you know, imagine you're owning a company and it is successful amongst your competitors. In terms of service delivery like Openserve, which according to the latest report by Internet Service Providers Association, it has revealed that Openserve is the preferred fiber network operator among internet service providers, achieving the highest average rating among the large fiber network operators with an average score of 7.0 out of 10, while Vodacom finished last with 4.1 out of 10. What does that mean to you as the owner or to your customers or even your audiences? More demand and service delivery to new customers. So, however, how are you seeing success in your service delivery while yet you are still unable to achieve your sustainability goal due to the high cost associated with the ongoing issue of high energy consumption and carbon footprint caused by your day-to-day operational equipment? Definitely there's a core problem, which is a lack of efficient and useful solution to eliminate these ongoing concerns, such as an AI model that could help classify, quantify, and recommend an actionable strategy to prevent these issues by these, data centers, buildings like Openserve, like I said, before they could happen. So how can we help Openserve keep our country connected while saving energy and eliminating these carbon emissions? So we have considered coming up with a solution that is an a forest isolation anomalous detection, which is an unsupervised machine learning model that is ready to be implemented in an existing system that is used by Openserve and other data centers, such as a dashboard monitoring system or even an app. This means that how are we addressing the challenge is by mainly focusing on the core problem of having an advanced AI model that can classify site buildings, which needs an emergent attention before issues persist. So this is just an outline of how our system or the whole solution works, or how are we going to bring it into life. Firstly, we are going to consider cooling systems. Keep in mind, not just any cooling system, but we are considering the solar-powered cooling systems because we believe that they are much more cost-effective and they are renewable, of course. So we are going to integrate this model using an API within the existing systems that the data centers are using. This model will then collect the data, or the data will stream from the data set that is given. Like we used the data set that we were given, then this system will be able to do what? To classify as it does the anomaly detection analysis. Thereafter, with our step 4, then it will work around with the visualization, which is like, let me say, for example, like I said, the existing systems will now then be interactive with the user. So just getting into our business model. So we are obviously considering Openserve as our key partner because we are solving this issue for them. However, we are also considering other data centers and telecommunication companies. And we need solar-powered cooling system providers as part of our key partners and regulatory bodies to make sure that we fall within the regulatory measures, we do not go beyond them, and also the maintenance and support services. And other things here are just an outline of how are we going to bring the solution live. These are the key activities, as you can see, they are outlined here, and also the key resources, as well as our value proposition, specifically the primary value proposition and the secondary value proposition. So as well as the customer relationships, whereby we are considering dedicated support and regular updates, obviously, since we are providing them with a model that needs to be integrated into their system. So we are also considering channels in terms of directly communicating or pitching the solution towards the relevant hands or the relevant target markets. And also we are considering the customer segment, as well as obviously we need to make sure that our cost structure doesn't go beyond our revenue streams. So in terms of our cost structure, we are estimating a total amount of 4.4 million that might possibly be actually used as we are bringing this system live or integrated into the existing monitoring systems. And through our revenue streams, we are estimating a total of 6.2 million a year per client. Picture this, when I say per client, I mean, like I said, Openserve will be our first key partners, and as we are providing them this system, we are actually expecting this as our total revenue per year, but other data centers will obviously multiply the amount. So getting into our market size, like I just said, through the research that we went through, we realized, or we saw, that there is an estimation of a total number of 135 data centers across the continent, the Africa continent. But focusing in South Africa, the data centers, they start at least from a total number of 40 towards 68, according to the research we've done. And what does that mean to us? It means that suppose we are going to offer this model to all of these data centers, then now you are able to multiply that estimated total revenue by this total number of data centers or data center companies. So through a thorough research, we also saw that there is an estimation total revenue of about 471.1 million United States dollar that is estimated as 2024 revenue, and as well as the energy that is considered to be used at these data centers. It is estimated at 2.9, or it is estimated that it could power at least 2.9 million homes in South Africa. And a future, let me just say, a future estimation is that this energy covers at least 8.2. I mean, the current year's energy consumption is estimated at 434.9 megawatts, and estimated to go beyond that, which is 828.9 megawatts in 2029. So without a further waste of time, I'm just going to skip this slide, but I'm hoping to come back as I let my colleague to demonstrate the roadmap of our model and also get into the POC, both sides, the back end and also the user interface. Ferdi, the stage is yours.
You have 2 minutes left, so please do. Hopefully you can run the demo through in that time.
All right.
Okay, so essentially what the model does is as the data streams from the data centers, it actually classifies a single data entry from the site as either anomalous or normal. Once a site accumulates too many anomalous readings, what actually happens then is once it goes over a certain threshold, then the priority counter for that site increments. And at the end of the day, actually what emerges is a priority list of which sites need to be prioritized for power saving. So I'm just quickly going to share my screen and share the code. As you can see over here, I've already run the model. I'm not going to run it now, but I've already ran it, and it gets pretty okay accuracy. What we can do to obviously improve that is if we had more information on the data set, and we can actually get a contamination factor of all the data entries so that we can actually improve the isolation forest model. We can do that with a bit of data exploration and with the help of the personnel at Openserve. That's it from my side. Karabo will quickly show the example of a monitoring app where this is implemented.
Yeah, just a moment.
Are you loading the demo in a different window?
All right, here
or in
we
a
go.
different program, Karabo? Okay, go on.
Okay, this is just an outline of the interface, what we running from the on the web browser. So yeah, it's on a local host.
Okay.
Just a minute. All right, let me try to run it.
We are almost out of time, Karabo. How much time do you need to show the second demo? We'll give you another minute just so that you can go through it.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Karabo, what we could do also is maybe let's get to Q&A with the judges, and I will allow you a minute before we move on to the next team. If you could potentially then figure out the demo, and then we'll get back to it before we conclude.
No, it's here. Can you see?
You have it now. Okay. Proceed. You can share your screen now and
Yes.
Perfect. We can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just estimating that as the user will have a chance to log in, that you can see what's recommended. So, all right, then you log in. Once you've logged in, this is just a visualization of the high priority sites whereby, let's say, this will be interacting with you as the user. So this is an API, a Google Map API that we used to make sure that the accuracy of the sites is here. And yeah, let's say for instance, this is site 1 that is listed on the priority counter, then you are able to see then this is the recommendation. Temperature is too high, install 10 extra solar powered cooling systems and reduce lightning usage during peak hours. Then another site, energy consumption is approaching threshold, estimated to exit in the next 3 to 4 hours. So you're also able, in order for you to make sure that a certain site after a maintenance or whatever the emergent approach has been done, you're able to do it, to also update a ticket in order for you to let the next agent to know that this certain site has been updated. Now you submit the ticket. After submitting the ticket, now you see the ticket has been recorded here. This is the ticket, it has been recorded, and even the chart has, let me just say, updated. And suppose you were to update it, let's say maybe for pending ticket, as a certain site hasn't been maintained. So you see everything changes, then the ticket it's now recorded again, and also the chart goes back to red, because it's like another, 2 sites haven't been maintained and 2 sides have been maintained. That's 50-50. So that's the idea behind our solution, and we thank you. Also, we would like to thank this opportunity from all the judging panel, and as well as the SATNAC for giving us this great opportunity to showcase our skills. Thank you.
Great. Let me ask you one question before we go to the judges. What is the most important lesson that you feel like you learned during this challenge over the last 3 months of building this solution? What's one key thing that you learned, or a skill that you didn't quite have before?
Well, with the previous experience that I had, which was me having to be introduced into the API usage, like anything that has to do with the API. I'm proud to say that I made use of the skill to integrate the Google Map API here so as we can increase the accuracy of the location for a certain site like I just showed here. So that is basically what I think I have, or let me just say that is the incredible experience that I had and that I'm proud of, because previously I didn't have that, the skills to actually work around the APIs.
Great. In a few words, Frederick?
I haven't done isolation forest anomaly detection before, so that was quite fun for me, and I would say I learned that.
Great. Excellent. Good job on a great presentation. I'm going to go now to our panel of experts and take a few questions for the team. The team's name is Unitech. Dr. Prosper, and then we'll come back to you, Sunil.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Team Unitech, for the presentation. That was insightful. My question is on your data set. You said in your presentation you talk about the data set is given. I want to know the original source of the data set, and I also want to find out from you if you are able to check the accuracy of your classification model, because that's very important, because if your classification model is not so accurate, then your counter will also be inaccurate, and therefore the priority may not be the right priority that you're looking for. So just those two questions: the source of the data, original source of the data, and then the accuracy of your classification model.
Okay, yes. So we were actually very fortunate to get the data set directly as supplied from Openserve. I think all the teams were allowed to train on that, and we got it from there. So yes, what we did, obviously, they just gave us the data set. So we didn't have information such as contamination ratio, which would be very important for isolation forest. So with a bit of data exploration, we were able to maybe estimate or rerun the training to estimate good parameters for it to ensure that the model is relatively accurate. But with keeping in mind the fact that we just got the data set and we don't have, let's say, examples of anomalous data entries, we had to kind of make our own anomalous data entries in order to check if the model actually flags it as anomalous. So that is how we actually tested its accuracy, is by generating anomalous data and seeing if the model actually flags it as anomalous.
Great. Thank you. Sunil?
Thanks, Chavi. So, Team Unitech, well done. It's good to see you bringing artificial intelligence and machine learning into a telecommunications environment and utilities monitoring. My question is on your commercials. You presented very exciting commercials, an investment of about 4 million rands with a return of 35 million rand a year. Can you maybe just give us a brief overview of how did you cost your project, and secondly, how did you calculate your returns, your revenue generation?
Well, just to try to answer that, in terms of the generation, like I would say, obviously we will need to do there are installations as the model it's actually ready. So we are actually estimating an initial system setup fees working around, or let me just say costing around 1 million rand, which is let me just say a once-off payment. And in terms of also other kind of like revenue streams, we are also, let me say, estimating the subscription fee that needs to be there in order to make sure that if a certain data center or data center company is no longer renewing its subscription, then we know that we are no longer getting such, and we need to let me just say, let them know that they need to renew. If they do not, then yeah, that's how it is. And in terms of the maintenance and the support, obviously we will need to make sure that we offer such service, because we are the ones who have actually, let me just say, developed this. So we need to make sure that we support them in terms of maintenance in case there's any error occurring, and also in terms of consultation service, we also looking around, making sure that we charge them such. I mean, like it's additional services that we must make sure that we charge them. So that's how we were able to come up with the total revenue of 6.2 million per year for each data center.
Great.
And we were also trying to make sure that we compare it with the cost structure to make sure that we do not only lose, but we also make sure that we have a profit.
Okay. We are out of time, but I see our judges have one burning question. I'll allow one quick question from Tsepo, and then we'll proceed to the next team.
Thank you, Unitech, and this was a great presentation. Just two quick questions, similar in nature. Your model is based on what critical parameters that need to be fed into the model to help us with the decision making? I had to speak about power consumption, temperature. What other considerations does the model make? And secondly, I just want to check the recommendations that the model sort of make. What sort of recommendations will come out of this model, which will help us as a business with the right interventions, and how does it, prioritize those interventions in terms of the optimal output from such kind of interventions? Thank you.
Fertie, would you like to take that?
I'll answer half of the question, and then maybe you can just take the other one. Basically, the parameters, not the hyperparameters, the features of each data entry basically that we used is out of that data set they gave us, it would be things like P1 scores, S scores, Q1 scores. So they all have different meaning. From some of them are actually active energy usage, and obviously they probably didn't even give us the entire data entry that they get from these different sites, but that is basically what the model is trained on.
Great. I'm going to cut off Tsepo at this point because of our time. Thank you very much, team. We are going to move on to the next team, also from Northwest University. The team's name is Skylift. Skylift, if you could unmute yourself and start introducing your team members, your university as well, which department you're studying at, university level and program. Can you hear us? If you can hear us, please say something. Excellent. Please start with your introductions, and you can share your slides as well.
Okay. My name is Tapone Nyagatari, and I'm a third-year mechanical engineering at the Northwest University. And my team member is Tsepang Maja. She's also at Northwest University, and she studies masters in nuclear sciences and engineering. Yeah.
Okay.
So
you can proceed.
Okay. Can you see my slides?
We can see your slides well. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, the problem. Data center energy use accounts for 2 to 3% of global electricity use, which accounts for which is an equivalent to about energy usage of entire countries. A typical large data center consumes about 100 million kilowatt hour, which is 100 million units of power each year, and most of it goes into cooling. As you can see by this pie chart, about 50% goes into cooling, and with the least being in lighting. The demand for cloud service and data analysis is actually skyrocketing, which is leading to an exponential increase in the need for energy. Efficient cooling systems and renewable energy resources are essential strategies that we can use to mitigate this impact. And adapting to liquid cooling, as most data centers have done, reduces the energy dissipation, like the temperature dissipation, by up to 40%. And the problem with this way of tackling this problem, it's like a one-size-fits-all. The liquid cooling that is currently being used, it does not match the service requirement that is needed by the servers or where the cooling is needed. So this is, let me just play this video first. Okay, our solution basically, the concept is called EcoSafe. And it consists of two algorithms, which is the eco-cooling and the predictive maintenance. First, I'm going to explain the eco-cooling. You know that changes in data traffic and outside weather can affect the temperature of the servers, right? Eco-cooling makes makes use of AI to accurately match the cooling required by the servers, so as to not use energy unnecessarily. Like we know, in liquid cooling, there's a complex relationship between cooling towers, chillers, and pumps. For example, let's say we increase the temperature of the cooling towers by 1 degree as to reduce the consumption by the cooling towers. It will also increase the temperature. I mean, it will increase the energy consumption being done by the chillers and pumps, so as to maintain the required temperature. So it's like a give and take. So using the computational power of AI, the eco cooling finds the best suitable combination, which minimizes the energy consumption. So it's basically like finds like a sweet spot where like there's minimum consumption. And then for predictive maintenance, everything around us has a voice, and that voice is vibration. Like the famous words of Nikola Tesla, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, we have to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. If we really listen to the vibration, because the vibration tells us a lot about a machine's health and condition. Just like a door, when you open a door and it squeaks, it can tell you that it needs lubrication on a certain hinge. And if you listen carefully, it will tell you where exactly that hinge is. So that's how it works, because our faults can be classified into their frequency domains. So the frequency domain of maybe, let's say, dust accumulation is different from the frequency domain of maybe like a faulty bearing or something. So yeah, so we measure vibrations using sensors like the accelerometer, the FFT, and then continuous monitoring systems. And then using the machine learning, using the AI's machine learning and pattern recognition, it can give you a recommendation. It can analyze the patterns that are associated with a certain failure and then give you a recommendation before a failure that actually happens. And this reduces downtime, and in turn, this reduces energy spikes, because if, let's say, a certain section fails, it increases the strain on other servers, also like increasing their temperatures, and then the cooling requirement is also going to increase. So by preventing this kind of type of failure, we can actually like reduce the consumption, the energy consumption. So what is the need for you? So we have cost savings due to better cooling. We have a reduced downtime because we have a predictive maintenance. So yeah, and we have a potential to expand because now that we have a better way of cooling and a better way of identifying a problem, we can use a higher server density in a specific location, in a specific area. So yeah, what is it? What did I do now? Yeah, identifying problems is no longer a headache, since it's now we can with the predictive maintenance, you can actually know where exactly the problem is, and our solution is in compliance with the ESG framework. So yeah, there's a data center that in China, which uses the algorithm similar to the eco cooling from Huawei, which is called the iCooling. And then this data center saves about 5 million kilowatt hour of energy every year because of that algorithm. And that's about 5%. And this energy is enough to power, this energy saved is enough to power a family of 3 for 23,000 years, which is a lot. And for us, we're expected to beat those numbers because unlike the iCooling, which only looks at what you call the data, traffic and the environment in the on the data center, our solution can also like uses the weather forecast. So you can use the weather forecast, and it also is like its own self-diagnostic system, like the predictive maintenance. So if there's a fault, like in the iCooling, there's high dependence on its sensors and machinery. So that to remove that dependence, we have the predictive maintenance, which is like if there's a fault on the eco cooling, it can be flagged on the predictive maintenance. So yeah, it's like prevents the negative impacts that it can bring if it's like dependent on the sensor. Like we have a faulty sensor in the eco cooling, and then if no one really like identifies it, can negatively impact the energy consumption. So yeah, ours has like a self-diagnostic system, and this self-diagnostic system can also be attached directly on servers so as to find faults on servers as well. So yeah, where the EcoSafe solution is expected to be those numbers. And if you look at this, the 5 million kilowatt hour and the average electricity prices in South Africa, which is about 2.4 rands. If we multiply that, we can expect about 12 million in savings alone just from a better way of cooling. What makes our solution
I'm sorry, you have 2 minutes, so you might spend it
Okay.
wisely if you have a demo. Just make time for that as well.
Okay. It's why EcoSafe. We have a significant energy reduction in energy consumption and carbon footprint. We can stay competitive because if we have a reduced down, to stay competitive, you have to have an uptime of 99.99%, which is 5 minutes, 5 seconds in a year. So with the predictive maintenance, we can stay competitive. Feasibility is almost guaranteed because we just have the only difficult part is maybe like integrating, but the solutions can work independently because the predictive maintenance is something that is already being used, and the eco cooling, it's being used by iCooling by Huawei. So yeah, the key activities that are left to do is we need the model development and the training and the testing and integrating into existing systems, and the key resources are things like sensors and listed over there. And then the price structure for a small testing phase, while expecting maybe a total of 3 million for the testing phase only. And then, let me just show the demo because I have 2 minutes left.
You had 2 minutes 2 minutes ago. Excellent. Team, if you can stop sharing your screen because you shared without audio, so we are not hearing the demo. So if you can stop sharing and then share again, when you click the share button, there's an option to toggle an option there to say share audio as well. Then we can hear your audio. And you have
Okay, let me.
30 seconds. I don't know how long your demo is, but you'd have to.
It's about a minute. About a minute. So
It'll
Your
cut down a
part
bit
Can you-
into your Q&A time, but let's let
Please
you do
vibrate.
it. Okay,
can you hear it now?
Vibration diagnostic.
Can you hear it now?
we can proceed.
Okay. Yes, sorry.
Is vibration diagnostics. It is a major part of condition monitoring programs. Over the years, vibration diagnostics has proven to be the most effective method for checking machinery health. Vibration diagnostics tools are here to help us to predict machine failures. When condition monitoring is applied and the machines are checked regularly, machine faults can be discovered at an early stage and appropriate action can be taken. By doing so, you can avoid unexpected machine shutdowns and you can avoid replacing parts which are still in good condition. How does it work? Running machines generate vibrations, which contain a lot of information about their condition. A vibration meter or analyzer is used to measure this vibration. The sensor needs to be mounted on an appropriate point on the machine, e.g. bearing housing. The instrument measures the vibration signal, tells you the severity of the vibrations, and also possible machine faults.
Okay, that's basically it.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
yeah,
Tim.
thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go directly into Q&A with our judges. We have potentially time for only 2 questions. So Moses and Najri, okay, let's proceed. You can go first, Moses.
Thank you for the presentation. I think you've made some bold statements, which means you're very confident with what you're doing. But I think generally, I always advise young people that whenever you pitch, rather under promise and over deliver than over promise and under deliver. You see, I mean, you mentioned something like you will reduce energy consumption by 40%. And I just want to know, how did you get to that 40%? I mean, that's a huge number.
It is, they said what you call, as I was reading this article, you were saying that compared to traditional ways of cooling, like using fans, liquid cooling increases the what you call, it increases the dissipation of the temperature by 40%. So that's why I got the numbers. But it was something that I actually referenced on my final report. It was it didn't say the consumption, but it says the dissipation of energy by 40%.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ashri?
Thank you. Very interesting presentation. Just focusing on your vibrational analysis for preventative maintenance. And how is your solution differentiated versus what is already available in the market currently? What sets you apart from what is readily available? We currently do a lot of vibrational analysis, but typically more on heavy machinery as opposed to server settings. So it's used a lot in mechanical settings. So can you please elaborate on what type of ROI you are expecting to gain from this within more of an electronic setting where cooling fans are pretty much the only mechanical components left in that environment? And what sets you apart from readily available solutions out there?
Okay, thank you. In the eco cooling, it uses, and since it makes use of like mechanical parts like the pumps and what you call the fans, as you said, our vibration analysis, it's already existing, but currently it's being used like we use it in a way. We only people are the one using it. Like so. It takes time for a person to go one by one, checking the health of a certain component. So using the AI, we actually can do it. Can check the health at the same time for a lot of machines, and then something that a person cannot do is like look at the pattern, the patterns that are related to the failure before it actually happens. Focus for a person who actually can see the failure as it is happening, but the recognition beforehand as to prevent the watch code when it actually happens. That is what the AI will be doing. So it will check the pattern, and then it will identify the problem before it actually arises.
Great. I will allow one question from the panel if there is any other for the team. If there isn't, again, team, we always want to make sure that we highlight the work that you put into understanding the problem as well. Can you tell the panel, in investigating this problem, what's one thing that surprised you the most? Maybe based from the Openserve data or the briefing you received. What surprised you the most in trying to understand this problem?
What surprised me the most is the amount of energy that actually goes into data centers. Yeah, that's 2 to 3% of global energy use, and then that was a surprise for me, because that's a lot.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much, team, and thank you to the judges for those questions. We are going to promptly move ahead to Eswatini innovators. Team, once you're ready, please unmute your microphone and start by introducing yourselves. And as you do so, we will know that we are hearing you. Any member of the team, if you can say hi and begin introducing yourself.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if I'm audible. Can you please confirm that for me?
You are audible. Thank you. You may proceed.
Okay. I'm still trying to actually share my slides. I'm not sure that you can see them right now.
Yes.
Okay.
We can see your screen. Just ensure that you're in presentation mode. And before you begin, tell the judges about yourself, your fellow teammates, where you're studying, what level of study you are at.
Okay. My name is Ayanda Kumalo. I am the Eswatini Innovators team leader. So our group comprises of students who are doing their BSc in Maths and Physics. We actually all are currently in our 4th year. Yeah, that's basically is on our background info.
Thank you.
So let me begin.
You may proceed. Your slides are still not in presentation mode. If you can try to place them in presentation mode for the judges and the online audience to see you better, to see the slides better. Perfect, perfect. You can proceed. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So as we're currently facing the pressing challenge of global climate change, carbon emission reduction has become a focus for many organizations, companies, and governments. In this case, Openserve, trying to reduce their carbon footprint as much of their energy goes into cooling, because they need to cool their servers to a certain temperature in order for them to work effectively. Now, what are we actually trying to solve with our project? So we're trying to reduce carbon emissions in the energy sector and reduce energy consumption in buildings, and also try to fix the problem of lack of real-time monitoring and optimization. And then we're also trying to solve the problem of the difficulty in predicting energy demand, as it would be kind of hard for you to do most of these things manually, and trying to balance the energy needs with the environmental responsibility, as we know that currently the energy sources that we have, which are actually being used, are having a huge impact in carbon emissions. Now, I'm going to let my colleague to actually tell us more about our solution or what our solution has using this flow chart. I'm going to give Kawe Magongo to do the following.
Okay, our recommendation models focuses on the reduction of carbon emissions. First, our model will optimize energy mix and consumption, which include these things of energy grid and solar energy. We'll integrate a special software called Sirius, which manages the carbon emissions. Yes, and also we'll use the SCADA software as it is demonstrated in the flowchart. The SCADA software takes commands from the serials and other sensors to monitor the overall performance of our system. We'll also create a smart building environment. What is valued in our position? We have a significant reduction in carbon emission, cost savings through inefficient energy practice, and increased user awareness of energy consumption patterns. So since we use the AI to predict the change and variations, and we'll also have a scalable adaptable balance sector. I would hand it over to my colleague to specify how really our models works.
I'm Duduzo Shop. I think I'm taking over from Makong. So I think we need to specify what exactly makes our solution very special. So integrating these serials and SCADA for holistic approach should be one of the most good things we are trying to do, because like with SCADA, we'll be able to attach a number of sensors to it, which will then try and maybe take some data, and then the data will go to our data log, which in the case would be maybe a data manager. Then SCADA will be able also to issue some commands through the data manager remotely, through our data manager, to try and send some information. Or that maybe one time we may try to switch from maybe grid to solar energy seamlessly without even going there. So even we'll have more data, since we have more sensors attached to the SCADA, we'll have more data which will increase our predictive analytics. And also with this data, we'll have more tailored recommendations for energy efficient appliances, and then can optimize their usages and behavior changes. Yeah, our solutions look like we can adapt to various building types, since we just install the sensors and use it and the energy meters to the existing electrical installations. So like we'll be able to to issue some automated adjustment to reduce the carbon emissions. So I think we can try and make to see our architecture of the system which we are trying to propose here. We have a sensor layer we have sensors which will be collecting data. The sensors may include like temperature sensors, like energy meters, and also we can even try the temperature sensors. We can even try and see which recording temperature for each maybe server, so that we can see which server usually is contributing, is issuing more, is contributing to the increase in temperature of that building specific. So like then with these sensors attached, then they'll send the data to the data manager, which will upload this data to an online portal. Then the serious software will use the data which we have to analyze the amount of carbon emissions. So because they will have a data for how much energy you are consuming from solar, and some which we have, and other from generators, and other from the grid. Then we'll have some automated adjustments. The automated adjustments will come from our model, which will be trained from the data which we'll be having there. So the key technologies in our solution are just the PLC, which is just a programmable logic controller, and some remote terminal units, which include the sensors. The human interface is just our computers in this case, and any device which can be used to view the system online. Then like some IoT sensors which will be used to record this data which we will need there. Then machine learning algorithms. We will use this machine learning algorithm to develop some recommendations for this system. I think I think I have an example which we installed a data manager in our, because our university have a solar system. Then we installed a data manager in our system, including the SCADA. With this, I'm not sure whether you can allow me to show you our solution or our project. That's
Yes, proceed. You have about 3 minutes left.
okay.
Almost
Okay,
4 minutes, actually. You can proceed. Yeah.
Okay, let me just. I think here we are having one of the data managers which we installed in our university, whereby this allows us to view the performance of our solar plant in the university. With this, we are able to even use some machine learning algorithms to predict how much energy we can produce the following day using like weather provided by our local weather or from the weather forecast. So now we're having a real-time monitoring of the system, whereby we see how much our solar plant is generating, how much we are consuming, and how much are we feeding back to the grid. And we can even track how much we produce daily. Even track how much the temperature of our solar panels, including the temperature around them. When we are using some formulas, we are able to see how much carbon do we reduce. So we are hoping to even increase this to the serious software, so that we can increase we can have more recommendations in based on the carbon dioxide avoidance. Thank you for listening to us.
Great, excellent. Thank you so much for that presentation. I'm going to go to our panel of experts. We have some time for a few questions. Tsepo, and then we'll come back to Sonia.
Thank you guys for the beautiful presentation. Just checking from a business point of view, how much is this going to cost to implement, and what are we hoping to get by way of financial returns if we were to adopt your solution as a business?
Currently, we cannot be exact, but I think we can approximate, because like this data manager costs are around 8,000 rands. Then we can have a few sensors. We can buy some of these sensors, of which we are not sure how much they cost in the market, but it seems not that much expensive. I think even less than 500,000 should be enough for a single building, since we have SCADA and the software is free, because currently using Sunny Portal is just an open source software. So I think it shouldn't cost that much.
Great. Thank you. Sonia?
Thank you, Tavi. I see you're using PLCs as well as IoT sensors. Is there a reason that you didn't use the logical controllability function of the IoT sensor, and you chose to go with the programmable logic controllers?
Okay, for me, I think with this programmable logic controller, I think it's much easier to program them. So that's why I think we chose them, and they seem to be efficient and integratable with our data managers and even the other sensors. So that's why we decided to use the PLCs.
Thank you.
Are there any further questions? Yes, Prosper?
Okay, thank you for the presentation. That was an interesting one. My question is more on the automatic adjustment. You mentioned about the adjustments, but we are not so specific in terms of what you are adjusting. So can you please just elaborate on that, and also on the recommendations as well? You say Your model will provide certain recommendations. Also, it wasn't so clear specifically what recommendations your model will be providing, so if you can just be specific on that.
Okay, let me try and make an example here. For example, I think you can have a battery bank which has about 10, maybe 10 units of kilowatt hours. So maybe we want to maintain a usage maybe of 2 kilowatt hours every hour. So with that, we can our model can offer a recommendation of how we're going to split that for a certain period of time. How we're going to split the battery bank to work together with the grid, so that maybe stabilize that power. For example, I think your data centers use sometimes. I think that some of them have solar systems installed them for maybe when there's load shedding. So like I think we can use that data to balance maybe how the usage is. How the usage will work from both the solar and the grid. Like use this as a grid stabilizer in that case.
Okay.
Great. Is there any last question?
Maybe
Please,
just a
Mrs. Moses.
comment, not necessarily a question. I mean, I thought when they went this integrating with the SCADA and PLCs is because most of these are widely used in industry. I thought maybe that's the reason why they went that route. But yeah, maybe they can comment why they went that route. But I think it makes sense why they would go that way.
Okay. Last question, nothing. Right, team, again, one last question from our side, just helping you reflect on your journey. What was difficult about this topic? And I think that's a broader question to say what's difficult about the space of, using AI to try and approximate and recommend actions around energy efficiency. What was difficult for you? And why do you think this is a difficult problem space in general?
For me, I think we need more data logging for anything, so that you can, because like it's good to recommend based on data, because like with the data you can know what's happening on the ground, even if you are not there. So I think for me, we need to increase more data logging in order for us to have more recommendations for the future.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you, Tim. We have 2 more teams that are left to present, but right now we're going to go on a little comfort break for 10 minutes, and afterwards we'll proceed with the last 2 teams. So thank you very much, everyone. Stay with us for the next 10 minutes, and we will resume just at about 2:25.
Connections. Few understand the economic power they can unleash. We do. We know how 2 distinct ideas can collide to create one that is completely new. How using technologies we can connect you to a floodgate of opportunities. Welcome to the next revolution in connection, where we empower dedicated, passionate people like you with connections to exponential success. where connecting you to the world leads to solutions envied all over the planet. We're a company that anticipates your needs. Through networks, services, and exceptional people, we immerse ourselves in your business, proactively looking out for you in ways you could never have imagined. We build and strengthen your reputation for consistently being able to deliver. Truth is, we're not merely about technology. We're about servicing your business in a transparent, trustworthy, and open manner to give you world-class solutions that lead to your customers taking giant strides. Join us, and you'll soon discover that everything we do is based on one unfailing belief: that connected, we can change the world and touch everyone in it. Openserve. Connect to connect. Connections. Few understand the economic power they can unleash. We do. We know how two distinct ideas can collide to create one that is completely new. How using technologies we can connect you to a floodgate of opportunities. Welcome to the next revolution in connection, where we empower dedicated, passionate people like you with connections to exponential success. Where connecting you to the world leads to solutions envied all over the planet. We're a company that anticipates your needs through networks, services, and exceptional people. We immerse ourselves in your business, proactively looking out for you in ways you could never have imagined. We build and strengthen your reputation for consistently being able to deliver. Truth is, we're not merely about technology. We're about servicing your business in a transparent, trustworthy, and open manner to give you world-class solutions that lead to your customers taking giant strides. Join us, and you'll soon discover that everything we do is based on one unfailing belief: that connected, we can change the world and touch everyone in it. Openserve. Connect to connect.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for joining us. We are moving straight along into a team called Electric Minds. And I think before they start presenting, we are all very curious about this name. Do we all have electric minds? Are you the only ones with electric minds? What's the inspiration behind this name?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Yes, tell us about Electric Minds.
So Electric Minds is basically a team of 3 students in the University of Eswatini, currently doing their final year in electrical and electronic engineering.
Yeah, what
So
inspired the
basically
name? What inspired then the team name?
Well, maybe given enough time for the presentation, the solution, I'm sure all of you would be convinced that indeed these people have electric minds.
Excellent. Then blow us away. You can proceed.
Yeah. So we are a team of 3 students, as I've just said. I'm Sfundo Keninza. We also have Minenhle Dlamini who will be joining me after the first session of the presentation, and lastly we'll have Pumelele Shongwe. Yes, so that is basically the problem. So coming to the problem statement, I would love us to picture some hot summer day. We have Openserve operating. Let us pick just one building. It's a large data center, of course. And Openserve is working hard to keep up with the demand. The servers in the building are buzzing, and the air conditioners are running full blast to keep everything cool. So by imagination, we can all agree that the building's energy consumption spikes, causing costs to soar and raising concerns about pollution, that is in terms of carbon emissions. This puts Openserve's promise to being environmentally friendly at a very high risk. So now let us say we have another building that is having a totally different experience, which experience we can attribute to smart updates and energy saving practices that are enabling the building to run efficiently and keep cool without spending or harming the environment. So the big difference between the two buildings we talked about raises an important question as to how can Openserve turn its energy-hungry buildings into such examples of efficiency, referring to the last building. So this situation highlights the urgent need for Openserve to create a recommendation model that can look at energy usage, find patterns in the energy consumption, and suggest ways to save energy across all its buildings. So at this point, I would give Minenhle to.
Hello everyone. This is what we are proposing as Electric Minds for the Openserve Challenge. So our system is an AI-driven SCADA system, whereby we're integrating our AI recommendation model with our SCADA system. Basically, this is a tool to provide Openserve with energy optimization tool to reduce costs and contribute to its green initiative. So a typical SCADA system, it is used to control, monitor, and analyze industry processes. However, as Electric Minds team, we're taking this a step further by incorporating an AI recommendation model, which will help us to automate decision-making based on real-time data. Firstly, to deploy this system, we have to acquire data. That is, we are going to need 2 types of data. One, sensors, your leakage detection sensors. Then we also need data on the building's characteristics. That is, we're looking at the different sizes of Openserve's buildings, the location, the age, the insulation material, as well as the location, climate. Then after, we take that data and transfer it wirelessly through network communication channels. This data will be taken to our control systems that could be our programmable logic controllers, as well as our HVAC cooling systems. So what does our AI recommendation do exactly? One, through the real-time data acquisition, this data will be used to train our AI models, which could be regression models, your neural network models, your decision-making models. In our scenario, we use recurrent neural networks to train our model. Then after, this model will be able to classify these buildings into categories. For instance, we can have high energy saving potential buildings, medium energy saving potential buildings, as well as low potential savings buildings. Thereafter, upon classification, this model will be able to recommend actions on as to how we can actually ensure energy optimization. For instance, with our HVAC optimization system, we can set temperatures based on the building's data, and thereafter we can also schedule equipment shutdown during peak hours, whereby we can set our equipment to go to sleeping mode. Also, we can also suggest renewable energy can be implemented within the Openserve buildings. Thereafter, as I've mentioned, we are aiming for the model to help us identify energy saving opportunities. This will also be done through equipment upgrading. That is, our model will be able to tell us equipment that are faulty, because if we're having a faulty equipment, we do know that that particular equipment will be consuming more energy, and that is an undesirable feature of our model. Also, yes, as I've mentioned, we propose schedule for operating the equipment during peak hours to minimize costs. Thereafter, there is this key aspect of our recommendation model, that is through preventive maintenance. So with the use of the AI monitoring equipment, we'll be able to monitor the health of our equipment. That is, we'll be able to predict equipment failure. In so doing, we'll be having a proactive approach to energy maintenance. That is, we'll be able to see that a particular material equipment is about to fail down and work around planning on how to solve that problem, rather than the situation we have now, whereby we have to see the equipment fail, thereafter able to find ways in which to solve that problem. But this model works towards promoting a proactive maintenance. Lastly, this model is able to generate a sustainability model report. This report will tell us how we have been able to reduce carbon emission, as well as tell us how energy saving has been achieved, contributing to renewable energy sources. Thereafter, let's look at what is the value proposition that comes with our solution. This solution is aiming for energy efficiency. How so? Through the reduction in energy consumption by recommending energy saving opportunities, as well as the peak load management will help us to minimize, to ensure energy efficiency. Moving on, there is business intelligence. How does our model caters for this? This is done through the use of real-time data to derive actionable insights into the daily operation of the Openserve facilities. Additionally, this system is economical. How so? We are aiming for a system that minimizes operational costs through reducing energy consumption and improving efficiency.
Electric Minds, you have 2 minutes. So if you have a demo, please get to it. Yes. Proceed.
Oh, yes, there's scalability and user engagement, as well as continuous improvement. So now I'll move it on to my colleague.
Greetings, everyone. I am Pumele Leshongwe. So I'll just rush to the demonstration. But before we do so, I will just also highlight the part whereby we talk about why is our solution a bit special. So my colleague have shared that our solution is AI powered. So in that case, we know that AI recognizes patterns that will be a bit difficult to recognize with the traditional methods. And also another part is the predictive maintenance part, which my colleague have just shared recently. Predictive maintenance also assists in keeping our equipment up to standard ensuring that the energy consumption of the equipment as a whole, they are at an efficient level. So I will move to the demo part to keep time. So as you can see on this slide, there's an image which shows the site of Openserve. So as you can see, the distribution, Openserve is committed in providing broadband connectivity, global connectivity, and etc., and also enterprise. Then, as my colleague has shared, that our solution is SCADA based. So I will move then to the part whereby we show our solution, our part of the solution.
Okay. Sorry, Tim, if you
so,
can,
as you can
Electric Minds, please try to, if you were sharing, stop sharing, and then share the window you were trying to speak to. Is it the PowerPoint? Is it on a browser? Where were you running your demo from?
It's on a browser.
Okay, please try to share again. And then before you proceed, wait for confirmation that we can see your screen, please.
Okay. Is it? Can you now see the web browser?
Yes, we can. We can proceed.
Okay. So this first part talks to the energy consumption prediction. So we have a model. We have an RNN model that we use to predict energy consumption per day. So here we've just used some test data, the data which have been given by Openserve. We split the data into the training and also to the testing part. So we have trained our model, and then we've used some other data point to make predictions. So as you can see, from that the blue lines, they represent the actual energy consumption, and then the orange one represents the predicted energy consumption. As you can note from the graphs, they are almost similar. The graphs, they are almost congruent, but they are not. But you can see the blue lines and also see the orange lines. So then this is the part, this is another functionality that's our solution encompasses. And then another part of our solution is the recommended switching. As you can see here, we have used buttons which shows that this is building 1 up to the 36th building. So, and also, as you can see, there are also buttons where you can switch on and off. So given our recommendation from the AI, if there is a high energy consumption maybe in a certain building, and it has been recommended that you can maybe switch off the cooling system for now, then you can remotely just turn it off using this button. So this is another functionality of our solution. Then we can move on to the part of the real-time energy consumption monitoring part. Where is it? Yes. So here is it. So as you can note here, this is building 1, and it shows the real-time power consumption. Although it's a bit technical, but it's the apparent power. It shows the real power and also the reactive power. So this allows for operators to also monitor the energy consumption. Then lastly, we have the energy consumption report, which is also encompassed in our solution. So we are aiming that this report should actually it will show the buildings with highest energy consumption. the president. So in the first stage, we are going to see in real time the energy, the building that is consuming a lot of energy, and then again in the second, and again as you go down. So basically, this is our solution. Thank you for the opportunity to present.
Excellent, excellent. I think before we go to the judges to ask you their questions, back to letting you tell the story of your learning so far. What do you feel you have learned about the Openserve business, the Openserve environment? So I believe you had to learn quite a bit about Openserve in getting guidance from Ajri, Kahisho, and other experts from Openserve. What have you learned about Openserve that you didn't know before? And if we can go quickly one by one, what did you learn about Openserve throughout this, this process and this challenge?
For me, at a personal level, I've learned that Openserve is a telecommunications company that actually aims for connectivity. What I've noted is that Openserve doesn't aim for connectivity within South Africa, as we've learned that it is aimed for broadband connectivity, enterprise connectivity, carrier connectivity. However, Openserve goes even a step further for global connectivity. So with that given, we can see that Openserve is a company that is really helping towards ensuring connectivity for everyone, and it is a very it is a company that has a very large market. So with that given, we can understand that Openserve is really facing energy high consumption level given such a broad connectivity spectrum.
Okay, great. Two team members, quickly. What have you learned about Openserve and specifically the environment that you were researching?
I've just observed Openserve's eagerness to integrate these technological advances into their operation, which is it's a good idea. A good idea because in this day and age of artificial intelligence, everything is easier when these technologies are incorporated into business.
Okay, great. Last thought quickly before we move on to the judges' technical questions.
Yes, maybe to add to what my colleagues have just said, we've also learned that Openserve is committed to the regulatory compliances, which include the green energy savings, to which we are already shifting towards. I think that's what I can share for now.
Okay, thank you. I mean, Sunil and Ajri and the Openserve team members are listening online as well. I hope that's accurate. Let's now move on to our business and technical questions from the judges. Yes, please, Prosper.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, Team Electric Minds. That was a very a comprehensive solution that you presented. My question is on the aspect of energy consumption. Now, if you are trying to predict energy consumption, or if you're trying to use your AI model to check for energy consumption, do you also take into consideration the requirement or the demand for energy? So in simple terms, let's say you are consuming too much energy, and you provide notification that this building is consuming so much energy, right? Now, do you also factor in the fact that the server room also requires more cooling? So then how do you optimize those two? Instead of just switching it off, but the server room still needs cooling. So how do you balance that in your solution?
Basically, our solution caters for this through the peak load management. Let's imagine a scenario whereby we have a lot of people who are connected into their internet. That is, we have a high number of users during that particular instance. We are aiming for proper resource allocation. That is, we want our servers to be fully efficient during that time instant. Let's also imagine a particular scenario whereby we have it is basically you have fewer users interconnected into the grid. During that time instance, we want to have our equipment set into sleeping mode. That is, want them just to be working, but not at full load. So with proper resource allocation, we want to aim for a situation whereby when the demand is high, we have our system fully operational. But when the demand is low, we aim for maybe take our equipment to a sleeping mode, basically.
Okay. Sunil and then Ashri, yes.
Thanks, very well done. I like your idea, and thanks for studying Openserve and looking into how we consume energy. I just wanted a clarity on one of the statements that you made. So in your solutions overview, you talk about energy monitoring and temperature monitoring. But as you go through your business model, you talk about the increase in data traffic and the impact that has on the solution. So if you can just clarify for me your framework or your model, is it based on temperature monitoring or based on the premise that an increase in data traffic will increase in temperature in the data center or in the central office? I'm just trying to understand your framework. Are you saying that if there's an increase in data traffic, that will result in an increase in the temperature in the data center?
For our model, we looked at the data that was given to us by Openserve. We were given the energy consumption. So to train our model, we used the power readings that were given, such that at a particular time instant, we'll be able to predict the energy consumption level. For using what we have for today, we can predict for the next day. So what we used basically was the power consumption levels.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ashri?
Thank you. So my question comes back to your concept of proper resource allocation when it's needed. I think that's quite a viable concept, so well done on exploring that. But have you done any modeling or simulations to quantify what type of benefit we can actually see from this based on the data that you have in front of you?
Sorry, sir, please can you come again?
I just wanted to know, have you done any simulations or modeling to quantify the type of benefits or energy savings that we can achieve by doing proper resource allocation as per your model?
At this particular stage, we haven't been able to take it to that step further. We have not. We're more focused on the energy consumption given the data that was given to us. We're more focused on the power and the buildings, like the power consumption of each particular building. And then we're able to classify the buildings according to their energy consumption level. In so doing, identifying energy saving opportunities for that particular building.
Great. Any last question for the team? Excellent. Thank you so much, team, for your presentation, Team Electric Minds. We have witnessed the electricity that runs through your minds. And again, thank you very much for letting it, allow you to come up with these great solutions and your great ideas. We have one last presentation for the day that comes from a team at Rhodes University. I think this is the only submission we have from Rhodes this year. The team is called Delta Gamma. Delta Gamma, if you're ready to present, if you can say something, we will know that you are with us here in studio. One member of the Delta Gamma team.
Can you hear me?
Delta Gamma, thank you very much. We can hear you. We can hear you. What device are you running your video from, Delta Gamma?
It's my phone, my phone.
Yes.
Android phone, Samsung.
Apologies, but especially for us here in studio and for our online audience, the video feed doesn't work quite well when you're on your phone. But we can proceed. We can fix that with the control room as we go on. You'll be advised maybe on the Teams chat how you can maybe do this better. But for now, please introduce yourself, introduce your team members, what you're studying, at what level, and we can get into your presentation.
Okay, so my name is Vuya Jumba, and my teammate's name is Uran Gujet. We both from Rhodes. She studies, she's a last year student in computer science and HKE, which is human ergonomics and kinetics, human kinetics and ergonomics. And I study mathematics and applied mathematics and computer science. Is that fine?
That helps. Yes, we
fine?
can get into the presentation, please.
Okay, yeah. So good afternoon, and thank you for your time and hosting us today. My name is Uvuya Jumba, as I just said, representing Team Delta Gamma and our efforts into shedding the load shedding. That could be a hashtag. We are excited to introduce Insights, an innovative platform designed to revolutionize energy management by optimizing energy usage, reducing costs, and driving a shift towards sustainable and green energy sources. Insight isn't just about saving money. It isn't about saving energy. It's about building a more efficient and more eco-friendly future. But before we get into Insight real quick, I want you to imagine a world submerged in darkness, where shadows loom large and unseen hands pull strings. Silent figures tighten their grips as flickers of light fade, leaving families and businesses scrambling to survive. Fear and uncertainty fill the air, with the cost of power growing unbearable as control further slips away. In this landscape of rising energy costs, there's one question that remains: how much longer before the lights go off for good? Well, for South Africans, this isn't really a distant nightmare. This is, well, for the regular South African, we're all like immune to rolling blackouts and the orchestra of humming generators in the streets. We're all used to it right now. So the demand is high and it's surging. Electricity consumption has risen by 23% in the last decade, while supply remains insufficient. With over 200 days of load shedding reported in 2023 alone, businesses are losing an estimated 4 billion rand per day during these outages. The need for a flexible, cost-effective, and sustainable solution has never been more urgent. Now that's where Insight comes in. So at its core, Insight is a monitoring system that is designed to revolutionize how business manage energy consumption. We continuously track and analyze real-time energy usage, providing data-driven insights, and empower building owners to make smarter, greener decisions. But it doesn't stop there. Our recommendation engine takes this data and matches energy efficient solutions tailored specifically to the building's unique profile, unique requirements. So by that, I mean, it will literally go to the market, see what you guys are doing, see what you guys are using, and will recommend different alternative products that could be that you could substitute for, right? That's one feature. That's the recommendation engine right there. That's one aspect of the recommendation engine. So whether it's suggesting the optimal times to switch to solar or to integrate alternative suppliers, Insight delivers an actionable insight that are not only eco-friendly, but also cost-effective. Which drives me to the next part of our solution, is the dynamic. Could you please skip the slide forward a bit? The next frame, next one. There you go. Yeah, this is probably my favorite. This is probably my favorite feature we have. So this is dynamic power switching. This is one of the key features we have. So with the growing decentralization of energy supply, users can now switch between independent power supplies based on real-time cost and availability. This opens the door for easier transitions to green energy alternatives, driving an adoption of a sustainable solutions. By offering flexibility and real-time supply switching, we not only save costs, but also help users reduce their carbon footprint. But again, but again, we're not alone. Yeah, we're not alone in this space. Yeah, we have competitors, and we've identified 10 key players in the market, but most of them lack the dynamic switching, which is, again, my favorite part. The dynamic switching and the recommendation engine, really. I mean, I haven't seen that being implemented, well, the way I see it, switching. So Insight's unique combination of flexibility, supplier option, and personalized recommendations gives us a strong edge over the competition. Now let's talk about the market opportunity. On the next slide, please. Well, there you go. So the IPS market in South Africa has seen exponential growth. So it started off with 5 suppliers. Now we're at 40. Well, more than 140, really. More than 140. So you can clearly see that the renewable energy sector is growing and there's strong demand. With this increase in energy tariffs and demand for sustainable solutions, Insight is perfectly positioned to capitalize on this trend. Our platform enables users to navigate the evolving market efficiently. The apple is literally ripe for the plucking. Our monetization strategy, next slide, please. So our monetization strategy includes several key revenue streams. We'll offer a subscription model for users who benefit from the platform. We also earn commissions from power supplies for connecting them to the customers. Additionally, we'll monetize data insights and use them for consulting and white label solutions for larger clients. We stand at a pivotal moment where choices we make today will determine the future of our energy security. The path forward is clear. Act now or face the consequences of inaction. Insight is not just a platform. It is the light that breaks through the darkness, guiding us to the future where energy is within our control. Join us as we turn the lights on for good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tim Dalsagama. Thank you for your presentation. Is that the end? Do you have anything else to show? That was the end of the presentation, correct?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We are now going to go into a Q&A with the judges, and we will allow you to answer any questions that the judges will pose now. Moses?
Yeah, I think the first question really, I just need clarity to say your big idea here is, I mean, when you talk about dynamic switching, you're talking between a number of service providers supplying electricity at a different rate. So the dynamic switching is whoever that is cheaper, you will move, you will do the dynamic switching to that one who's cheaper. Is it the idea here?
Okay, yeah, I'm glad you asked this question. So the idea I was thinking, the future of energy management is, so suppose you're managing the energy of like a particular business. You could set up a policy. You could literally set up a policy where it's like, let me give you an example. Let's say you run a data center, right? You have all these systems, all these complex systems. You have the cooling system, you have the computation, you have, the lights that are running for people, So what you could do is say, okay, we'll have the lights being ran by, let's say, For simplicity, let's just say by some solar farm that is also on the platform. And then for stability, you want the servers to be ran by something that's more robust. So you would offload the workload to like the nuclear power plants in Cape Town, for example. And then I already said the lights. And then the cooling system could be ran by ESCOM. You know what I mean? It's not, okay, I mean, based on your opinion, I mean, it's not really the most reliable source given recent history. But yeah, that's like the basic idea. So you guys could like make your own policy of how you want to spend and where you want to spend more efficiently. Does that answer your question?
Great. Any further questions or comments? Yes, Tsepo?
Thank you for the presentation. Just checking from a business point of view, how is this going to impact me, maybe from a cost point of view? How is this solution going to be, providing me with a solution that can save me, maybe even reduce my carbon footprint? Have you managed to maybe quantify that for us?
Again, like the thing I like about this strategy is that it's the whole, like, you can build your own policy and sort of optimize according to your own constraints. So in terms of profitability, right? Different energy sources have different, how do I say this? Have different economic factors, have different ways of production, which influence the pricing, right? So you would imagine that, I'm not very sure of these numbers, but like, just for instance, let's say wind is cheaper than coal, and also solar is cheaper than wind. So you would choose accordingly. So you would have more control. It gives the user, it gives the business owner more control over your operations, your costs. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm very bad at explaining this. I'm sorry.
Cool.
Okay, no thanks.
Thank you. There's no follow-up. Is there any other question or comment for the team? Let me ask you this question. I think I asked this to the first team that presented as a way of us closing and reflecting again on your learning journey. What's one thing that you feel you learned that stuck with you during this challenge process, whether it's from the coaches, the industry experts, or during the master classes or otherwise? One key thing that you learned that has stuck with you or will stick with you moving forward?
Yeah, this might be a bit controversial, but I really appreciated the presentation, the master classes on selling and presentation. Like, I'm not sure how well I've reflected that, but that's what I kind of picked up. That's one thing I kind of liked. Another would be, let me see if I can think of another one. Another one would be working in teams, I guess. I mean, I'm not really a team-oriented person. I don't think a lot of mathematicians are, but like, yeah, no, I'm not a very team-oriented person, but I kind of worked in a team this time. Yeah.
Great. That's useful reflection, and I think in closing, I should mention to our sponsors, to again, our judges, to the many partners of SATNAC, that one of the key elements of this challenge has truly been the learning experience. And we ask these questions to the students just to showcase that in different ways, they're exposed to information, to skills that they wouldn't otherwise get outside of this program. So over the 3 months, they attended weekly master classes, which covered everything from how to ideate, how to check, the value proposition and the business value of your idea. They were taught how to design, how to prototype, they were taught even how to pitch. The results we are seeing now with the beautiful slides, that took a number of master classes, that took a lot of one-on-one time with designers, with pitching experts, just to get them to this point. And we said yesterday in one of the sessions that, again, this was a master class for life. These are skills that many people only learn when they enter the marketplace or when they enter, the workplace. So truly we appreciate the support that we got from our partner, Open Innovation, KUI Studios. They really committed over the last 2 to 3 months to training the students and sitting with them one-on-one to guide them through this process. But also, as we said, Openserve as our sponsor for providing the data. For the first time, many of these students were, working with real-world data for the very first time. They, for the first time, are not experimenting on public data sets, etc. So we really, really appreciate that. We know it takes time to prepare data that can be confidently shared with students, and that again took the commitment of the Openserve team. And I think you could hear from the students as they were presenting, and even as we asked them the questions now, that they were not blank about Openserve. They understood a lot of what happens internally. They understood a lot about these challenges, which means that our Openserve team really took that time to help them understand, those challenges. And for that, again, Ashvi and team, we are truly, truly grateful. So we are going to take a break now for 10 minutes, during which the coaches, the judges, the experts will be deliberating and adjudicating. And when we come back, we will announce the winner of this Openserve challenge on AI recommendations for energy efficiency in equipment buildings. And before we close, our judges will also give their final feedback. So please stay with us and we'll be back shortly. 10 minutes.
Connections. Few understand the economic power they can unleash. We do. We know how two distinct ideas can collide to create one that is completely new. How using technologies we can connect you to a floodgate of opportunities. Welcome to the next revolution in connection, where we empower dedicated, passionate people like you with connections to exponential success. Where connecting you to the world leads to solutions envied all over the planet. We're a company that anticipates your needs. Through networks, services, and exceptional people, we immerse ourselves in your business, proactively looking out for you in ways you could never have imagined. We build and strengthen your reputation for consistently being able to deliver. Truth is, we're not merely about technology. We're about servicing your business in a transparent, trustworthy, and open manner to give you world-class solutions that lead to your customers taking giant strides. Join us, and you'll soon discover that everything we do is based on one unfailing belief: that connected, we can change the world and touch everyone in it. Openserve. Connect to connect. Connections. Few understand the economic power they can unleash. We do. We know how two distinct ideas can collide to create one that is completely new. How using technologies we can connect you to a floodgate of opportunities. Welcome to the next revolution in connection, where we empower dedicated, passionate people like you with connections to exponential success. Where connecting you to the world leads to solutions envied all over the planet. We're a company that anticipates your needs. Through networks, services, and exceptional people, we immerse ourselves in your business, proactively looking out for you in ways you could never have imagined. We build and strengthen your reputation for consistently being able to deliver. Truth is, we're not merely about technology. We're about servicing your business in a transparent, trustworthy, and open manner to give you world-class solutions that lead to your customers taking giant strides. Join us, and you'll soon discover that everything we do is based on one unfailing belief: that connected, we can change the world and touch everyone in it. Openserve. Connect to connect. Connections. Few understand the economic power they can unleash. We do. We know how two distinct ideas can collide to create one that is completely new. How using technologies we can connect you to a floodgate of opportunities. Welcome to the next revolution in connection, where we empower dedicated, passionate people like you with connections to exponential success. Where connecting you to the world leads to solutions envied all over the planet. We're a company that anticipates your needs through networks, services, and exceptional people. We immerse ourselves in your business, proactively looking out for you in ways you could never have imagined. We build and strengthen your reputation for consistently being able to deliver. Truth is, we're not merely about technology. We're about servicing your business in a transparent, trustworthy, and open manner to give you world-class solutions that lead to your customers taking giant strides. Join us, and you'll soon discover that everything we do is based on one unfailing belief: that connected, we can change the world and touch everyone in it. Openserve. Connect to connect. Connections. Few understand the economic power they can unleash. We do. We know how two distinct ideas can collide to create one that is completely new. How using technologies we can connect you to a floodgate of opportunities. Welcome to the next revolution in connection, where we empower dedicated, passionate people like you with connections to exponential success. Where connecting you to the world leads to solutions envied all over the planet. We're a company that anticipates your needs through networks, services, and exceptional people. We immerse ourselves in your business, proactively looking out for you in ways you could never have imagined. We build and strengthen your reputation for consistently being able to deliver. Truth is, we're not merely about technology. We're about servicing your business in a transparent, trustworthy, and open manner to give you world-class solutions that lead to your customers taking giant strides. Join us, and you'll soon discover that everything we do is based on one unfailing belief: that connected, we can change the world and touch everyone in it. Openserve. Connect to connect.
Thank you and welcome back to the last and most exciting, or probably most nerve-wracking part of today's broadcast, today's program. I hope the students that you participants are still on the line. We are going to hear the outcome of the judges' deliberation in a minute, but before that, we want to give our judges a chance to give feedback to all of you as a participant that spoke today, but also importantly for those of us who have interest in this topic, those who will watch this video afterwards, wanting to learn more about the expert perspectives within this topic. So dear judges, what we are asking you to do is you can give individual feedback to the teams or general feedback to all of them. And also, you can also challenge us as the audience, as industry, as members of academia, as researchers, to say there are some difficult problems that haven't been solved that we should potentially be spending more time on, and any other insights that you can provide so that when we move on from here, we are continuing to invest our time and efforts in taking these problems further. I will begin with Moses and come all the way to Sunil on behalf of the Openserve team.
Okay.
Thanks, Moses.
Thanks, Tabi. Well, I think to all the presenters or presentations, they were all good. I think the difference between the ones that are going to win and the ones that did not win maybe it's just the time. Maybe it's, you did not get enough time to do your own research and work more on your solution. But I think all of them, they were high level, very, very good quality. So well done to everyone. But I also think what could have maybe helped you guys is if we, the data sets that they were using, maybe if it was readily available, I think as industry, we need to make all our challenges, we must put them out there so that the young people know exactly what we are struggling with. I think that could actually help them actually work more on a more relevant solution for future. But I think overall, yeah, it was good presentations. Yeah, thanks.
All right. I would also echo the same sentiment and go on to say that congratulations to all the participants for being courageous enough to actually take part in this challenge. Very interesting solutions that have been put forward here. And to those that we will walk away with the winning prize, I think you're well deserved. The one thing that I can just mention that cuts across all of the contenders today, as well as anyone who wants to, take part in a similar setup in future, I think because we're talking here industry solutions, get a little bit more into understanding like the baseline, and from a costing perspective, from a power consumption perspective, and bring that through when you're making your presentation and when you're presenting your problem. Bring it home to say this is what it really means for business, and don't be shy on talking to those kind of metrics. So that's just a 2 cents worth of advice from my side.
Great.
Thank you.
I think before we go to Prosper, I want to ask this question to Tsepo because you're an expert in this area. Where should students begin? Or maybe if there's other people that are listening now who are wondering, where do I go if I want to properly quantify, the nature of the business problem that I'm solving? Are there resources that people should seek within the organization if they work within one? Or in this case, if you're solving for another company that you're not quite privy to the cost that the company is incurring? In next time, for even future students, where do they go and how do they approach this computation?
Yes. In the case where you're trying to solve for a problem in a specific organization, most organizations will have that data locked somewhere, and it just takes you reaching out to them to say, hey, you've provided me some data consumption power consumption data. I would like to see the associated costs with this so that I can just do a correlation, and I can, realistically set a target for how my solution is going to impact your bottom line as a business. So it takes really reaching out to whoever your contact is in industry and trying to source that data from there. Otherwise, if in the absence of locked data, you can make certain extrapolations. If you given a certain set of data, you can maybe translate that into rands and cents. Thank you.
Thank you, Tsepo. Prosper.
Okay. Thank you. I think it's in general it was a good set of presentations by the students. They all tried their best to solve the problems that were posed to them, and I think going forward they should look at not all of them, but most of them. They should looking at more features to include into their models in order to create an accurate model for them to be able to predict some of these energy issues, and also look at constraints, which are very important. In general, for the challenge, I think Telkom has done a very good thing. From an academic point of view, we solve problems that are complex in nature, and some of these problems, when solved, need a lot of time to actualize them in a real environment. So giving industry problems to students to be able to solve actually addresses quite quickly some of the issues that are in the context of the business or industry, able to solve that problem quite quickly, as opposed to solving a complex problem that could also solve such problems but will take more time to actualize. So I think it's a good initiative, and thanks to the industry and then also our students for participating in this, and all the best to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Satenga. Andrew?
Oh, thank you. I think firstly, really well done to all of the teams that presented here. You could see the time and effort that went into this. And we saw some really innovative, thought-provoking ideas. So well done to everyone. We did come to one winner eventually, but that was not an easy decision. And I'd like to say, I mean, this challenge, even though we focused it specifically to Openserve's needs, but sustainability is a challenge that all industries experience. And there's a lot of parallels that can be used from everything that was seen here and translated across the board. So I'd like to see these students and teams take this further and reach heights that haven't been reached before. But well done to everyone. Thank you.
Excellent. I think before I go to Sunil, I want to pose this question maybe to you, Dr. Prosper, as well as maybe you, Moses, as well, to say some of the students, especially those who worked in this space, found it interesting, right? And I think one student asked if they can pick this topic and go do it as part of their master's, actually. And so I think my question is, what's worth researching? So if a student wants to take this forward as a researcher, maybe into a master's, into a PhD, what's worth researching, but also maybe what's worth pursuing for business. So if some of the students think, this is an interesting space, I want to be an entrepreneur in this space, what seems to be something you can advise them to latch on? I mean, I'm going to go to Moses, Dr. Satenga, and then Ajvi, and then afterwards we can come back and get Sunil's comments.
Yeah, I think there's been a big drive, Sabi, of moving South Africa as a country to a knowledge economy. And we haven't been doing that. So, and things that are relevant to industry, those are the things that people should be focusing on. Yeah, so just industry problems, things that can make impact in everyday's life, every day, those are the key things that we should look for. So it shouldn't just be a knowledge, what blue sky research like others do. Let's do things that in a year or two, we can point at them to say that here's the impact of what we've done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, I think it's with most of the solutions that have been presented, and there's opportunity to take it further into a research-based project. They will just need to look at other factors that contribute to the whole solution. And when you bring that in, it actually solves it from a complex perspective, but then it also enhances or ensures that no gaps within the solution exist. So in actual words, what I'm trying to say is it solidifies the solution. So it's a good thing. Industry will benefit, academia also benefit, because when you look at other aspects, you're also contributing to the knowledge base of the problem that is posed by industry. So I think it's a good opportunity for them to actually progress with this into a research project.
I mean, actually, you work at the core of this, so you know what the difficult questions are that researchers and maybe even entrepreneurs should be focusing on.
Yeah, and I think, look, I mean, we very heavily focus on sustainability, and that's a core theme that doesn't only apply to climate change. It's sustainability in all senses. When you have a challenge in front of you, you've got to look at the opportunity that brings out. And part of that is, when you produce a solution, is how can you make that solution sustainable? You often have to balance competing metrics. If you look at what we just witnessed here, when you want to reduce carbon output, that comes at a cost a lot of the times. And at the same time, we have to balance the service quality that we offer our clients at the same time. And all three of those metrics are not always well aligned. So you have to look at the sweet spot that maximizes different competing metrics for you to get to a sustainable solution that you can continue through 5 years, 10 years going forward. It's not enough to tackle a problem from a superficial level where you maximize a single KPI and a single point of view. It's a complex environment that we're in. You have to look at holistically, how does the environment itself sustain itself going forward.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Adri. Sunil, just your feedback as a judge, and then we'll make some announcements, and afterwards we'll come back to you for the announcement of the winner.
Lovely, thank you, Tsavi, and thank you to the students that participated. It was so heartwarming to sit here and listen to students being so enthusiastic and presenting their ideas. So firstly, on behalf of the Openserve leadership team, I want to express our sincere gratitude to all the students for taking up this challenge, for taking part in the Openserve challenge. And I started off by saying how close to my heart this is, because I love to see academia and industry collaborate to find solutions. I think that is something really big. And everything starts off with an idea. So whether you presented your idea well or not, the fact that you came up with an idea plants the seed for innovation. So congratulations on that. And maybe just some comments on how you can improve going forward. Your presentations were fantastic, but I think to add to it, if you can cite your sources, you were quoting, for example, data centers account for 2 to 3% of the global energy consumption. It would have made your presentation so much more powerful if you gave us an indication of where that data came from. But to everyone, congratulations, well done. And I think now we have the difficult task of trying to announce the winners, and I'll let Tsavi lead us onto that.
Sure, absolutely. I think I wanted to just express our gratitude first and make our acknowledgements before we go to the final announcement of the winners. I have already said earlier in the session how grateful we are to Openserve, and but generally to the rest of the community, academic and industry. SATNAC as a whole thrives and is only made possible by the community of sponsors, the community of academics and government representatives that support this great conference, and with it as well our Center of Excellence program and all our programs that fund and enable research in the country. They all thrive on partnership, and we have managed we have 6 of the sessions, and for these sessions we have managed to get panels of experts from industry, from different backgrounds, business development, banking, finance, etc. We have managed to get academics from different, disciplines on all of those panels. So again, today we have colleagues from VETS and from TUT. We have managed to get executives and experts from each of our sponsors. And I think this diversity of thought, this diversity of expertise it's a huge investment, and that we are making into the country's next generation of young people. So truly, truly grateful to the team here today, and grateful broadly to all of the supporters and the partners of SATNAC. And as we move along, just to again announce how high the stakes are for this challenge, the winners of this particular challenge that Sunil will announce shortly, as well as all other winners and the topics that we are currently conducting in the finale. Each of them get what we categorize as high value electronic prizes. They differ in terms of the configuration in which they come. Last year, students got tablets, laptops, and other forms of of what we consider quite high value devices. There's also a deliberate effort that the program and the sponsors put into what are called skills development prizes. In this case, in previous years, other students have received internships, other students have received immersive experiences of innovation hubs that some of our sponsors use, in fact, as a demonstration of innovation to their clients in the rest of the industry. And in particular, all the winning teams, get an opportunity to join us next week in the Kruger National Park to attend the 2024 version of SATNAC. And while we are there, of all the 6 teams that will emerge as winners, one of them will be selected by the SATNAC Executive Committee as the ultimate SATNAC Innovator Award. There's the recipient of the Innovator Award for the year, meaning that they're the most innovative team in the entire challenge, and there will be a monetary prize to that particular award. So with that said, all the teams that won't be winning today, you will receive recognition from SATNAC, from Telkom. You'll receive certificates. You'll receive other forms of career enhancing appreciation, so that you can again just use this as you move your career forward. And then with that, Sunil, we can go back to you and to announce on behalf of Openserve the winner of this particular challenge. And again, maybe you can give a few words from the judges about why that particular team was selected as the winner for today.
Okay, thank you, Tsabi. So before I announce the winners, just a few things I want to reflect on, and let's reflect on the last 2.5, 3 months that that these students have worked on their project. Being a lifelong learner myself, I can fully relate to you trying to get a balance between studies, between your peak exam period in October, and focusing on your project. And importantly, of the millions of students globally, a handful of you took up this challenge. And that alone is a winner. That alone shows the rigor of this program and your willingness to participate. So although Dr. Tsabi mentioned earlier on that this is a competition and that there will be one winner, I think you are all winners in some form or some way. The fact that you took part. I was doing a keynote address at the University of Cape Town's Graduate School of Business a few weeks ago. And the director of ceremonies there, a professor from Madagascar, quoted an 18th century Secretary General of the United States Armed Forces. And those are profound words, and I want to quote. He said, if you graduate today and you stop learning tomorrow, you are uneducated the day after. I actually want to repeat that for the students. If you graduate today and you stop learning tomorrow, you are uneducated the day after. In this fast-paced world of knowledge, of evolving technologies, I think that is very relevant. And that is what I really enjoyed about today, that you didn't just stop with your studies. You took that next step of continuous learning and you took up this challenge. So very well done to that. And for that, I want to invite everyone that took part in the Openserve challenge for a tour of our facility. We have the Openserve Network Operations Center, which is a very unique facility with one of the biggest video walls in the Southern Hemisphere. And everyone that opted to take up the Openserve challenge, through Dr. Tsabi, I'd like to offer you a tour of that facility. And you can arrange that through either Asavela or Dr. Tsabi, and we'll make that happen. So getting to the students that participated in this event, the judges considered a lot of things. Firstly, they considered the idea, and then every single idea from all the judges was a good idea. And how did you make that idea an academic innovation, bring it to industry, and see what value the industry can get from that? In other words, what is the commercial impact on Openserve or on any industry out there? So one more thing before I get to the winners is that each one of you stood up to the challenge. Each one of you took this challenge. And importantly, and I think Professor Moses intimated on this, is that we need you. We need you when you graduate. South Africa needs you, and more importantly, the world needs you. We need your ideas, we need your innovation, and we want to see you come out there and triumph. We want to see you stand high up and bring your ideas into reality. So for what you've all been waiting for, the university that did it was the Northwest University. Congratulations to Karabo Macau and Ferdy Steyn from the Northwest University. Ferdy with his honors degree and Karabo in third year university. Congratulations. You've won the Openserve Innovation Challenge. Over to you, Tsabi.
Not much else to say, but congratulations, Karabo and Frederick, and we'll be hearing from the SATNAC team on next steps, as well as all the other participants. As you heard, there is an offer from Openserve, which we encourage you to take on. It will completely transform your view of this industry, as well as your understanding of the technology and networking world that Openserve works in. Congratulations to everyone, and we'll be in touch regarding the next steps in how we can all support your growth from this point on. You are part of the family now, and we look forward to engaging with you further. Again, thank you to our judges, thank you to our sponsors, and to the community of sponsors that are enabling SATNAC and this challenge to become a reality. Thanks.
Connections. Few understand the economic power they can unleash. We do. We know how two distinct ideas can collide to create one that is completely new. How using technologies we can connect you to a floodgate of opportunities. Welcome to the next revolution in connection, where we empower dedicated, passionate people like you with connections to exponential success. Where connecting you to the world leads to solutions envied all over the planet. We're a company that anticipates your needs. Through networks, services, and exceptional people, we immerse ourselves in your business, proactively looking out for you in ways you could never have imagined. We build and strengthen your reputation for consistently being able to deliver. Truth is, we're not merely about technology. We're about servicing your business in a transparent, trustworthy, and open manner to give you world-class solutions that lead to your customers taking giant strides. Join us, and you'll soon discover that everything we do is based on one unfailing belief: that connected, we can change the world and touch everyone in it. Openserve. Connect to connect.